And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly emotional awareness show. And this time it's in just a whole other lockdown now. This is going crazy, but do you know what? That's what this evening's all about, being crazy. We're going to have great fun. Did you see your introduction to the show and what I put?
Oh, I'm a little scared now.
Did you not see that? Oh my goodness. I got to read this before we go.
That's why I was just like, just trust her.
I got to find it now and put and share what it was. Oh, it's disappeared. I had it here a minute ago. Right, so this week's discussion on emotional awareness sees the return of the amazingly hilarious de-turtling teacher of fun, Rory Berry.
I love it. You remember de-turtling?
How could I forget after last time? So yeah, so it has agreed to come back and instill a brilliant and funny ending to the launch of Brain Unchained, because that's what today's been all about. The launch of the book. It's like this has been on camera in every video today.
I would have been disappointed if it wasn't.
It's what, sorry?
I would have been disappointed if it didn't make it in on our adventure. So there we go. Shameless plug.
I know it's what it's about today. This is what this is about. Yeah, absolutely. It's been on every video from 9 o'clock this morning through till now. Actually, even there, I was videoing, photographing from 7 o'clock this morning, like non-stop until 5. I think I finally sat down for about 20 minutes.
And
a bit like you. I have. I've unwound. I've put my candles on. I've got my incense sticks on. I've put the lighting down. I'm just settling down for the evening now. Otherwise, I won't sleep till the weekend.
Nice. So, yeah, I've got Merlot with me, and just to be clear, that's my cat, not the wine.
Okay. What was her name?
Merlot.
Merlot. Oh my goodness, it gets worse.
Yeah. Also, his nickname is Batcat because he's got the bat symbol on his collar.
Oh wow. Yeah. Honestly, it's just amazing. It seems like this massive craze at the moment on strange and unusual and the quirky cat names.
Yes.
So you've got Merlot.
Yeah, his sister's name is Shiraz.
Okay, a little competition going on here.
Yeah, there's no theme at all in any way, shape, or form.
No theme.
It's mostly because you see, cats are more of these sort of aristocratic wine drinking types. They're the kind that sort of they'll walk into the room and they'll be like, clipboard out. That's moved. I definitely didn't give them permission for this to happen over here. There seems to be a distinct lack of laps. Why am my bowl is half empty? I'm starving to death. Can we fix that? Yeah, chop chop. And that's basically cats. Whereas dogs walk in a room, they're like, Brand! And tear off like lunatics. So yes, there's that old adage of what dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Yeah. I've not had cats though. But I there's a reason why I haven't had much of a social life, because everybody else has got cats, and I do have a chronic allergy to cats. I love them, but I can't go near them. But my niece has got a sausage. I know another friend who's got mouse, and my son's now got one called Pigeon.
That is the best name ever.
I'll tell him. He'll be thrilled with that. So,
yes, Pigeon.
Yeah, his fiance said the other day it was great fun when she tried to ring up the vets and say we want to bring Pigeon for the snip, and he said, "What?" And she, "No, that's the cat." So has it got feathers? No, this is the cat. It's called Pigeon.
Yes, I don't have a pigeon, but if I did, I would have called it cat.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So there we go. That great introduction. So welcome to the room, Yvette. Hi. Hi. She says evening to you both. So yes, that's us having a great introduction there through cats. So you've got Merlot in the room, and you're not talking about having a drink of wine on the desk either, right?
No. It's water. It's Tuesday.
This is my second cup of coffee of the day.
Loving it. So it's a big day.
Yes. Is it?
Yes, of course it is. Your book went launched Like, hello.
I know, that's a massive day. I'm so thrilled. It's been brilliant. We had a live singer this afternoon.
Ooh.
That was brilliant. And do you know what, the discussion we had with him in between, because he sang 3 songs and we had a bit of a chat in between.
Yeah.
It was absolutely awesome. He's brilliant to talk to.
Awesome.
Really, really into all the emotional well-being and everything. All their songs are based on connecting with people emotionally. And wow, that was what an experience. I mean, it should have been in a bookstore or a hall somewhere with somebody playing a band. I had a live singer online.
That is
And
top four.
the
You know what?
local paper want to do a feature on how you managed to launch a book during lockdown. It's like, here's how you do it. Live singers.
Live singer, cat named after wine, and cat named after a pigeon. That is the formula right there, folks.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
out of interest, from sort of concept to writing like a banshee to publishing, what was the total time frame?
26 years. No, 5 years. About 5 or 6 years. It's the experience of 26 years of having my son
Yeah,
with his emotional challenges, because
yeah,
his emotional challenges began pretty much from when he was born. He was the sort of baby who cried every time he woke up, and
okay,
he would cry for half an hour. And you could do all of the things you do: feed him, change him, cuddle him, make sure he's warm, his clothes are comfortable, burp him, wind him, make sure he's not got a temperature, do everything, still cry. Couldn't give him a dummy, he wouldn't, nothing would settle him. And I could never understand why. And his moods then went into like screeching as a toddler, like real screeching. And he would wake up in the morning and start screeching and do that until night. And that went on for a year and a half. That was a point where I went through a lot of depression, because my husband was then working away. I lived 5 miles from the nearest anything. We were in the middle of nowhere. I had no car half the time, and I'm just stuck with this screeching child. And you're talking about banshee, that would kind of pretty much describe it. And so this went on through different phases and stages throughout childhood, struggling with school.
yeah.
And then by the time he was 8 was when he first tried to commit suicide, which was way too early.
Wow.
Shouldn't have been doing that. So it then went through to, by the time he was 9, I'd given up trying to go through all the I'd got the diagnosis for him with Asperger's, autistic spectrum. We'd then gone through like trying to get diagnosis at school and help.
Yeah.
And we were just bashing our heads on a brick wall. It was absolutely hopeless trying to get help through the school he was in. He was so traumatized by school that by the time he was 9, I then ended up having to take him out of school altogether, and I taught him at home for the next 7 years.
Wow.
That took the stress off instantly, and the change was phenomenal. By the time he was then about 13, 15, it would have been about, he was about 13. Hormones kicked in, teenage brain kicks in, depression kicks in big time.
Yes.
And this time he went from suicidal to a mixture of suicidal and aggressive. So
Okay.
he was flipping backwards and forwards between the two. Had threatened to kill me twice in the process during the 5 years up to he was 18. So we've had a very difficult time. And at 18, I ended up throwing him out the house. Did not know what to do. I'd run out of options. So I'd literally done everything for my son and got to the point where I ended up throwing him out. Having taught him at home, I'd given up the chance of a career at that point. Given up the extra income, and literally had to stay home and teach him. And that was difficult, but it was so much more rewarding than having to deal with what I'd been dealing with him in school.
Yeah.
And that actually, by the time he was 13, he'd written his first novel. So it was that much power in the relief that he got from being out of school, that from the age of 9 to the age of 13, he'd gone from not even writing more than his name and date on the top of a piece of work through to writing a 25,000 word novel.
Wow.
So great, but say then teenage brain, 13, 14 kicked in, 15, he just went down and down and down. Threw him out, in a couple of weeks, like honeymoon period. Oh, I don't have to live with mum and dad now. And then it was like wallop, like
Yeah.
that sunk in. Like, okay, this is reality now.
Oh, the magic fridge. I don't have a magic fridge anymore.
No, no.
Because you see, there's these two things in the world. There's the magic fridge and the magic wash basket, right? And when you live at home, the magic fridge is always full and the magic wash basket is always empty.
Yeah, that's the one.
Then you move out and they change roles.
Yes.
So the magic fridge is always empty and the magic wash basket's always full.
I've never heard it put like that, but that is perfect.
And
Absolutely perfect.
I mean, I've tried. I've bought wash basket after wash basket. They're all broken when you leave home. Just I don't know why it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, mine needs yeah, mine are in the wrong order at the moment as well because I've been busy for the last 9 weeks. So as of tomorrow, it's back into housework. Got to do some shopping, start cooking again.
So was it quite intense, like last 3 months or so, getting the final like edits and artwork and?
Yep, absolutely. I left work on I think it was the 7th of November.
Okay.
The training. I was training for a new job, but I gave up on that before it got very far. So I finished on the 7th of November. On the 12th of November, I rang Tosin Oganusi. I said, right, I've just left work this week. I said, I'm thinking of getting my book out by spring. And
I like that. I'm just going to throw that into the ether. I'd like to do this by spring.
Yeah, I said, I want my book out by spring. And I thought that was setting the goal tight. And he says, oh, no, he said, why spring? I want my copy on my desk for Christmas. So on the 23rd of November, I went live on my profile and I signed his copy. I wasn't able to get it to him because of all the postage. I couldn't send it out to him because he's in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
So I couldn't send it out in all the postal issues. But it arrived here on the 23rd of December. So that afternoon, I went live online with Matthew on screen. It's all in the playback on YouTube. So it can all be found in the YouTube group. And I signed Matthew's copy and Tosin's copy live on screen that night. So it was done before Christmas.
Beautiful.
From the 12th of November to then. And then the hard work began.
Yeah.
Social media.
You have to publish it and then all of a sudden promote it and.
Yeah, that's the hard bit. Writing it was blinkered, like 12 days of right. And then there was like another couple of weeks of proofread. And that was harder than writing. And then you've got all the different social media platforms, and then you've got your profiles, your pages, your groups, messages coming into all of them, emails, phone calls. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just like, that's when it got overwhelming. And trying to build the website as well, get the branding done, the copywriting done. But those I've now put off till a later date. So we're going to have another celebration later for the launch of the branding.
Awesome.
So today is about getting the book. Although this is the week closer, today is about getting the book to #1 on Kindle in the UK, so it can be declared a bestseller. And I say we're already at number 9.
Come on, everybody!
It was on 120 this morning, which is not bad for a first thing in the morning before launch. 120 was pretty good before launch, but we're on number 9. So hopefully by this evening, we can up there.
Get it there.
99p. Yep.
99p. How long is the 99p deal for?
Oh, that's on 5 days. It's through to, as far as I know, 5 days. I've got other things wrong, so it should be 5 days. So Saturday should be the last day, 23rd of January, which is a very good point, because if anybody's watching this on replay later, 23rd is the final day for the 99p. So go and grab it while it's there. But it's as much about sharing it today, about sharing those links, sharing the knowledge, because people buying it is great. It puts the numbers up. What more important is, the mission is to transform the lives of 100,000 teenagers this year. And for that, individuals buying is not enough. We need to be sharing the link out and telling other people about the book. So that's absolutely people.
Yes,
that's down to everybody else. I've done my bit. That bit's down to everybody helping me. Thank you.
Very, very clever PR lady once said to me, the best strategy is start small fires. So this one likes it and raves about it to their friends. This one likes it and raves about it to their friends. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all those little fires go woof on fire, and then it takes off.
That's
So
the plan.
absolutely, your 100,000 people will be found via small fires. And
Yes. And
everything
lots
will
of
be,
them throughout 2021. Yep.
yeah. And I think that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Sorry, just to quickly nip back, because I think it's valuable to finish the story. So we got to 18 and goodbye, and the magic fridge and the magic wash basket broke. And then
Yeah,
Lupa,
and then
Lupa
once he'd moved out and he then like really hit rock bottom, like really deeply. As after I thought we'd hit rock bottom when we threw him out, but then it got worse, a lot worse. It got to a point where he was struggling with visions, auditory and visual hallucinations to a degree. At the age of 19, he'd already been left home for about a year. He couldn't even tell you what day of the week it was. You know, you could say to him, what day of the week? Like one day I said to him, right, I'm on my way to the bus stop. I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. Do not move. Stay at the bus stop. Got there 10 minutes later. I couldn't find him. Oh, where's he gone? And I'm looking up and down the road. I think, oh, maybe he's gone for chips. So I looked in the chip shop, not there. And I thought, maybe he's gone to the bathroom because he always needed the bathroom a lot. So I thought, wait for a few minutes. 5 minutes later, I looked round, and because he was on the bus on the way back from college, and he'd had work boots with him for outdoor work that day. And I saw his work boots at the wall at the end of the chip shop, but he was nowhere to be seen. I'm like, where is he? So I phoned him. I said, Matthew, I said, I found your boots. Where's the rest of you? Oh, down the snooker hall. I didn't know how long he was going to be. But it's just 10 minutes, you know. And actually, I was there in 8.
yeah.
So if I couldn't connect with him over 10 minutes, how am I supposed to teach him the concept of emotions?
Yeah.
It just seemed unbearable, because then after he finished college, he couldn't get a job. And that was when he really went downhill. And I'm like, if he really couldn't tell the day of the week, the time of the day, how am I supposed to do this? And that's when I began with colours. And all I did was draw 4 boxes on a piece of paper and write the colours in, and then talk to him about them. And the next day I went back and we put another box around the outside and talked about change. So my system didn't look like this to begin with. It took a while to find the sort of dynamics into this diagram.
Yeah.
But as I developed it with him, I realised there was a set pattern to everything. And that became the colour diagram that, you know, shows happy, you know, everything. When you think about all the improv you do, you talk about happy things. Like,
Yeah.
you know, yellow is a bright, cheerful colour.
Absolutely.
We talk about blue is always considered either air or water.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about thoughts are air, and emotions are water. So the blue represents thoughts and emotions in terms of sadness and grief. We talk about, you know, feeling blue or tears
Yeah.
of grief, tears of water. So all of that. And then you've got anger, red rag to a bull, and, you know, all the action things on the red side. So action is also like positive, passion, motivation things as well.
Yeah.
So it's everything action based. And then depression, the pit, rock bottom. And the only way you go between being happy and being depressed is because something's made you sad or something's made you angry. You're either grieving or you're frustrated with something over and over and over, and they drag you down.
Yeah.
So the whole thing fits the dynamics of how we always talk anyway. So I'm not inventing the wheel. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm actually just showing what the whole of the planet already talks about.
Yeah.
Exactly as we talk about it is there right up on that diagram.
Mm.
And I developed it and then thought, and it kind of came to a point, it's like, do you know what? I need to share this. But so there's not much point sharing it if there's a way I can break it. I then spent a whole year trying to bust it apart.
Nice.
I really did try everything I can to find a way to disprove it. But everything that I found that made me question it then made it grow more.
Love it. Yes.
Got it. Until I ended up with not only the wheel, but I ended up with 2 acronyms, and it ended up all coming together into what I call the Mood Mentor model. So we've now got, if I can find it quickly on page 10, it all ended up as this. So the Mood Mentor model is this as a whole.
Yeah.
And it represents chapters 1, 2, and 3 of the book.
Nice.
Chapter 1 is all about emotional awareness, and that is the complete breakdown. A quarter of this book is a complete breakdown of that emotional cycle.
Yeah.
That's emotional awareness. Then there is the whole section on change, because the inner and outer orange circles on there represent change, whether it's positive, negative, inner change, outer change, whether it's a change, a challenge, a choice, options. So this is another quarter of the book just written about the 2 orange circles.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that people often forget about change is that even when we want it, and this is the part that, like, when I'm doing coaching work with people, and they have the like, why moment. Even when we want the change and we actively chasing the change, we still have to grieve the change to accept it.
Yes, in a way, yeah. Yeah, you have to go through that thought process about how you think about it, feel about it, let go of it, move on. Yeah. And you know what? You're right, because if I come back to this, so you're saying about grieving, we say grieving, there's a difference between pure grief of having lost somebody, the real deep grief that takes you into depression, or the lighter form of grief like you're talking about, which would be nearer here.
Yeah.
And I don't cover it in this book. I'll lose my voice again. Been a long day.
You can whisper, they'll hear you.
Okay. All right. So something I've not even covered in this book is profiling.
Yeah.
So if you imagine taking somebody with a happy, balanced profile like yourselves, you spend time being happy. You take time to help other people and do things to help the outer world. Like for me, thank you for being here tonight. You do things to take care of yourself on the inner side. You make inner changes to you, and you do all of your improv and play for that, right? You have a passion and motivation for things in life on this side, but you're driven to do things that are meaningful, which is the positive side of anger.
Yeah.
I call it anger, but any of these has got a positive and a negative.
Yeah.
So you take in a sort of positive actions, you're happy about things, you look after yourself, you deal with the outer world, and you take time to think and reflect on things. And if you imagine putting a halo on somebody, that is a healthy emotional cycle.
Yeah.
Now you imagine if that halo was to slip that way, or if it was down here. You imagine somebody following that same pattern down here.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
depression.
that's for sure.
But you see where this now teaches it in a visual way. And you start to, and I've done this as courses with people, and they've said they can actually feel the emotions as I'm talking through them.
Yeah.
And this is what I want people to understand, that when you're down here and you're doing this, I can't do it back to front now on the camera.
It's like one of those, like, rub your belly.
I can't even see it. So when you're doing this here,
Yeah.
this is lost. So imagine this as a map.
Yeah.
This is lost. And it's about finding your way back up here. Nobody's stolen it. Nobody's taken it away. You haven't lost it. You've just, it's about learning to transform your life back up here. Bring your halo back up, sort of thing. So there's so many ways to do that. And I've had a client where I sat with a client and I listened to her for about 20 minutes and I noted down all the things that she said, all the key words. And then I plotted them on one of these on a blank version on paper. And her whole emotional profile was here in the black. I can't even do it on screen now. Was here in the black and blue.
Wow.
Her entire emotional profile was in the black and blue. And she was in a bad way. And it's not a good place to be.
No,
that wasn't a good place for her to be. So that's a bit, I don't even cover that in that book, but it's so powerful that just learning to understand this makes you realize when somebody says there's light at the end of the tunnel and you're stuck in a rut, you're in the black bit, the yellow one's up there, you've just got to have the desire to get back up there. You've got to find the way to get back up there. You've got to work through the anger, you've got to work through the sadness, You've got to go and find people like Rory and have a good laugh and bring some happiness and yellow back into life.
Absolutely.
and do things on purpose to work back up there. And
Yeah.
believe me, if there's anybody knows that, I had to do that last year.
Yeah.
I had to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it's quite interesting. Obviously, there's layers to all of these things. Like you said, there's the positives and the negatives, and they've got nuances and layers.
Yeah.
One of the things, and obviously, this phrase is used with very great care with clients, but sometimes I tell them to embrace the suck and just hug it into submission. And that's the easiest way to kind of right, let's go. And we're off. And you sort of take it with you, and then you sort of bring it into the light, bring it back to the yellow, and then it kind of goes, oh, I don't like this, I'm leaving. And you go, okay, well, I'm staying here in the yellow, you can leave, goodbye.
You got it, yeah.
And obviously, massive oversimplification, but sometimes one of the things that we are spectacular at, especially as adults, is we do this whole, oh, it could be as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. And we go, no. I'd like to add in 3 elephants, 14 road signs, 16 variants of the 18th one of these things that I want to throw in, just to make sure I make it as difficult as possible for myself. And it's like, why are we doing this? Where's the manual that says we have to make it complex?
Yeah. And you know what? That's the thing. So many people start with an issue of any kind, and it might not be an emotional issue, but any issue creates emotions.
Yep.
And they start with emotion, and they start to try and break things down. Sometimes we've got to simplify things and chunk them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the highest you can chunk it. This is it. This is life. Yeah. 4 core emotions: inner and outer change, positive, negative. It's just like, once you grasp that and you start to move forward and use all the lessons and the exercises in the book, wow, it's powerful. And it took my son from being chronically suicidal to literally, within a matter of weeks, helping his friends.
Oh,
yeah, literally. And within 2 years of starting this, within 2 years, I delivered the TEDx talk about it. And he was there. And that's when he was just there. He was then moved on. He'd got his own house. He'd got a job. He'd got a fiance. He'd got a baby on the way. Since then, he's learned to drive a car. He'd kept his job for 4 years. He's just changed. I mean, he's still who he is. He's unique. And one of the things, my daughter, I've got to read this. My daughter loved this saying. She started reading it. She started, bless her.
At least you've got that much.
Yeah, she has started. Bless. She's busy though. She's got kids. She's really, really busy. I've got to find it now, what she said. Basically, it was something about this book is about helping you improve who you are, not change who you are.
Nice. Leveling up.
Yep. Improve who you are, not change who you are. Because that was one of the biggest fears. And we talk about people going out, you say, come over here in the yellow, and they're like, oh, that's scary. And they go back to the blue or back to the red. Sometimes it's because they're afraid of losing who they are.
Yes.
And it seems to be the only thing they've got left to clinging on to is this identity. And I've just realised poor Yvette, she's been absolutely typing away, bless her. And I've been so focused on talking to you. So yeah, sometimes it's about being able to give people the reason to feel comfortable about being happy.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to be happy. They want to. But what we've also got to do is make them feel comfortable that by being happy and letting go of the anger and the stress and the sadness, they're not going to lose who they are. It's not going to change them as an individual.
Absolutely.
Just quickly, Yvette said, evening to you both. Brilliant day. This is very true with you there. I don't even know. We'll have to go back and watch the live now to see the timings, Yvette. Sorry, darling.
I completely agree with her statement about we overthink too much. We were talking about that in terms of
we overthink too much.
100%. And yes, absolutely, well done, Matthew.
Yeah, bless him. Oh, he's been a massive guinea pig in this. It's all been tested on Matthew. Actually, it hasn't. Some of it's been tested on my grandchildren.
Love it.
And it worked. My youngest client was 5 weeks old, my grandson. And it worked on him. brilliant. Yeah.
Yvette just said fridge. Obviously, this is very true. As obviously we were talking about the magic fridge and the magic wash basket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
brilliant.
one of the things that, in terms of the overcomplication, and I know we briefly spoke about this last time, but like I talk about this all the time because it's so true, and that is we also take the fun out of so much, especially as adults. We do the whole like I'm a grown-up thing, and then we stop playing, and there is so much power in play. There is so much power in just finding the ability to create for the sake of creating and just deeply connecting with that part of who you are. I distinctly remember when I was a wee bit younger, when I was shorter and I had more hair. There was a young man who was, I think he was, he had like quite, I think it was cerebral palsy. And he connected with music on a way that like it moved me to tears when I saw him around music, because he just connected with the pure joy of the music, and he couldn't speak very well, and so he couldn't sing along, but he made his noises to the music, and it was, and the only way I can explain it is it was pure. It was pure joy, and just that deep connection with that part of us that we all have inside. And as adults, we beat into submission because we're not allowed to have fun and be creative and all of this fun stuff. And just to watch him just be fully free when he was in the music was a massive, massive reminder to me to always try to connect with that. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people demystify the mundane through play. I mean, I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time, but I said it to a client recently. She was like, "Oh, I have to go to the shops." I'm like, "Put classical music on and turn it into a quest." And she went, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "If you put on one of those scores from the Lord of the Rings when they're on a big quest through the forest and there's the massive sweeping scenery, and you're like, I'm going to the post office. I'm going to the post office." And it becomes a big adventurous quest. It's a pretty mundane thing.
Yeah.
But you can ramp up the fun. You can ramp up the fun. And when you're doing that, you can reconnect with that joy, that inner kid. And we've all got them, and they want to come out and play.
That's a good idea. I like that one. Yeah.
So, yes.
I can try that one tomorrow because I've got to go to the post office. I've got a signed copy over there to send off to somebody.
There you go. Classical music.
Another one to sign yet as well.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, it's going. So, no, it's brilliant. I think we've got a slight issue with timing and technology here tonight. I'll tell you why, because Yvette's only just a couple of minutes ago put fridge and wash basket, but we talked to them about them about 15 minutes ago.
No, I think she put a secondary comment just to confirm. That's my gamble.
Okay. Yeah, I just think we might have a slight timing issue because sometimes we do with it when we're streaming to when it goes on Facebook. So sometimes the comments seem a little bit out of timing. So I think they might be a little bit behind, but I could be wrong.
Fair enough.
But I think it's because I'm doing it in the group tonight that we don't seem to have as many viewers, and I think there's something about being in the group. So I'm going to have to go back to the main profile after these.
Yes.
After this one. But no, tonight I did this one especially in the group because of the launch. No,
yeah. But I think one of
the right quest. I like that, a quest.
Yes, turn it into a quest. Have some fun. I mean, I've got emergency Lego that I cracked open and I had to replace. I was in a bit of a funk. I just know that for me, Lego is one of my escapes. It helps me just reconnect with everything that I need to do in the world, and it's so immersive that you can't not concentrate. And by doing that, what it means is you kind of go, everything get out.
Yeah.
Just me and the pieces. And so you play, and then it is such a big brain refresh. Over the Christmas period, I built a Lego Yoda. It's 50 centimeters tall. It is a big It's a big piece of kit.
Wow.
It was 9 hours of build time. Honestly, I
Crikey.
felt so refreshed after 2 days of building Lego that
Yeah.
I felt like I could take on the world.
Yeah, just that mindfulness, but through something that suits you.
Yeah,
And we've talked about various forms of mindfulness, but that's just another good example. Mindfulness is about having that time out and letting your brain relax, doing
yeah.
something enjoyable where you can just focus on it. My grandson loves Lego. That's all he wants to do. Trying to get him to do anything else is unbelievable. He loves his Lego.
My
Have
problem with
you seen
Lego is they're
have you
trying to
seen the
bankrupt
videos
me.
on YouTube where somebody actually uses Lego to cook and they make it
Oh,
like a stop motion movie of cooking?
oh, beautiful.
Oh, I'm gonna have to share them with you.
Yes,
You're
please.
gonna love them. So it's like they get like an actual cucumber or something, a real
Yeah, yeah.
one, and they get a knife, and as they chop it, bits of Lego cucumber are falling off. It's really clever. So they actually
Oh,
mix the stop motion between real food and Lego, and actually put it in the pan and stir it, and it changes to a different color and makes something. And it's like, oh, it's incredible.
that's
All
majestic.
done stop motion. Brilliant. Yeah, you'll love it.
And, and of course, they're starting to build more, and I love this. They're making sort of Lego for adults. Um,
Mm.
they released their bonsai tree recently, which is
All right.
insane.
Oh.
Might need to
I've just
buy
still got
that.
my box of Lego that I had about 50 years ago.
And I
I've just
guarantee
still
you,
got the original square kit.
it still hurts as much if you stand on it.
Oh,
Can
absolutely. Yeah. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah. It comes out when the grandchildren are here, but they haven't been here this year much, so
Yeah,
it
but
hasn't been
you're
used
allowed to
much the
play with
last
it
year.
without them.
What, sorry, Izzy?
You're allowed to play with it without them.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of that one. I used to when I was little, but it's right. Do you know what we do forget? But I've been so busy with the book.
Absolutely, and that makes complete sense.
So
It's like
now I've
I've
got to
been
start finding some fun things, yeah.
yes, like I've been counting down till the end of January because that's the start of Grow Your Own. So get to
Ooh,
start,
tell us more.
yeah,
Tell us
start
more.
to well, I get to start planting some of my indoor seeds to start to propagate so they can get ready for first early outdoor plantings in March.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And I absolutely like Lego and pottering in the garden are two of the things that absolutely refresh my brain. And so, but also the journey of Grow Your Own is such a life lesson filled experience,
Yeah.
from sowing seeds to nurturing seeds to harvesting to losing things to getting angry with the birds because they stole the cherries. I'm not saying I'm
Oh,
still
yes.
upset about it. I've let it go. I've totally let it go.
Mm, yeah.
And then also, but I collect water from the gutters. And like I've got my shed, I've got the gutters and got water butts at the end. So obviously try and save some water and things. And even the gutters teach me lessons, which sounds really stupid, but watch this. When the gutters are full of stuff, they block the good things that I'm trying to get, aka the water, into the water butts.
Yep.
And so in our lives, we have gutters and there is crap, which is the stuff that we need to deturtle, referring
Yeah.
back to last time, that needs to get out of our gutters so that we can receive the stuff that's flowing to us.
Yeah. That is brilliant. That is brilliantly put. Really is.
And the thing is, there are so many lessons out there when you look at them and you
Yeah.
look for them.
Mm.
And like also the ecosystems of, like, I overplant because I accept the fact I'm going to lose some to nature. I leave some parts of my garden messy over winter because I want butterflies this next year, because that's where they hang out, the larvae and all the like the little wiggly wigglies. Technical
Yeah.
terms only from Rory. But like all of these things, they teach us so much about everything. And also it's about, and one of the beautiful things about it is it's so much anti the fast food takeaway world.
Yeah.
Like if I want epic
Mm.
daffodils, tulips, croci. I don't know what multiple crocus is. One crocus,
Crocuses, I think.
many crocuses.
Crocuses, yeah.
Crocuses. Not to be confused with crocodile scissors, which is a completely different thing. But you plant that stuff in like October, November, December to see it February, March, April. And so we learn about forward thinking and planning, and you get to watch it grow. You get to watch it be nurtured. And that's our lives. We get to do this for ourselves, with ourselves, all the way through. And all of the mischief and the mayhem and the like complete nuttiness that comes along with it is part of the journey. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Because it teaches us so much. And it's fun. And it's outdoors. And you get dirty. And you get muddy. And it's great.
Yeah. And the birds come and pick the worms. I always used to get a blackbird come along. Because obviously where I am now, I don't have a garden. And that's going to be my biggest challenge in spring, is I haven't got a garden. But it might encourage me to get out more for walks. But I had a massive garden where I was last year. And I planned and planted and nurtured my garden so it had flowers 365 days a year.
Love it.
It was amazing. There was always something to be found, even on the darkest, coldest, most miserable day of the year. No matter how small it was or how hidden, somewhere in that garden you could find a flower every day of the year.
Love it.
That was a mission I set when I started to get to that stage, and I did. But then obviously with having to move and leave, I've had to let go. It's another thing. So, sometimes grieving is even about things like that, losing all that work I'd put into the garden. And
do you have a patio or a little balcony or something where you are?
No, nothing. 28 stairs up an internal staircase, was it?
Trixie.
So, yeah, nothing. I've got a big windowsill. I do have plants, don't get me wrong. And actually, I will share one with you quickly. About 10 years ago, somebody bought me an orchid to put on my desk at work. They gave it to me, and it sort of flowered, and it tried to flower the next year, but the flowers got knocked off. And then over a few years, it died off. But before it died off, it shot this little shoot out with a tiny little bud of leaves. And about 3 years ago, I planted that in some extra bark. And this year, it finally flowered.
Way!
And look at that. That's the beauty of it, is you finally get to enjoy it. And it flowered at Christmas.
Oh, awesome.
That's a beautiful little thing. So such a pastel pink. It's shaking like mad. But yeah, so that's, like you said, it is amazing to even something that tiny. And it was so tiny, and I've had to wait 3 years for flowers.
Yeah.
But my goodness, don't you appreciate them when you get them?
Absolutely.
Rather than something you plant now and flowers in a couple of months.
Absolutely. And I think that's also reminds me of something that I teach all of my coachees, is an all wonder and joy diary.
Oh yes. Yeah, you said about that before. Yeah.
And it's not a gratitude journal, and there's nothing wrong with gratitude journaling, and anybody doing it and watching this, please keep doing it. I'm not saying stop, but I can be grateful for my phone, but it doesn't have an emotional attachment. Whereas all wonder and joy are feeling words. And if I asked you to describe your week and you've had a rough one, you're not going to give me fact words. You're going to give me bad feeling words to describe it. And so when we use good feeling words to describe things, we reinforce that. And this is the thing that a lot of people mistake. It doesn't mean the bad stuff doesn't happen. But what it does is it brings balance. Because if we only see and experience and the bad stuff, that's once again a technical term, then that is our entire paradigm. And so when you look at all wonder and joy, you get both sides of the coin. You get balance, that mythical balance that we talk about, work-life balance, good, bad balance. Like, stuff happens, good and bad. And if you focus too much on either side, it's bad. Because you can also have that like toxic positivity, which is just like A, creepy and weird, and B, completely counterproductive and actually unhelpful.
like I said about that halo, it's got to be balanced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
You've got to be able to run the gambit of everything
yeah.
as positively as possible the entire way through.
Mm. We were going to do some games tonight. Promised everybody games. We got
Yes,
15 minutes left. I'll do them in a minute. But very quickly, you saying about that, I've done about 4 or 5 different groups over sort of several years ago when I was developing the emotional cycle. I tried an exercise out repeatedly in a number of groups and workshops. And I put up 4 flip chart sheets and said to them, right, happy, sad, angry, depressed. This is the 4 colours, but I want you to tell me words to describe each. So give me some words that mean happy. And it's like, happy, joyful, funny, you know. And they give me a few words. Okay, some for sad. We get a few more. Give me some words for depressed. But you get every time, get to the red. You've got it. Get to the red one. I couldn't keep up with them. They knew all the words for being frustrated, angry, you know, all of that. It was just like they just threw them at me quicker than I could write them down. And to have the same thing happen every single time just goes to show how much, you know, we're not always aware of that, and actually it helps to rebalance that and put more words back in that happy bit.
Yeah, and it's not that those words don't exist.
No,
It's that
no.
we stopped looking for them.
Yes, that's the thing. Gotta try and find them, even wear them.
Yeah, wear them, experience them, feel
Yeah,
them,
around
and
you.
all of these things.
Yeah,
But
gratitude and all of them up there.
yeah,
Yeah, positive thinking. I know, or there's so many different things could be up there. There's so many. But yeah, there's apparently, according to Tony Robbins, about 6,000 words in the English dictionary to describe emotions. And when I heard that,
somebody that's gone
when I
through the
heard
entire
that, and
dictionary and counted.
sorry,
I respect somebody that's gone through the entire dictionary and counted.
I know, I like, yeah, but apparently there's about 6,000 that describe emotions, and I was like, oh my god, I must have missed something somewhere, because this is after I came up with this, and I started watching a lot of videos, including a lot of Tony Robbins.
Yeah,
And I thought, if anybody can disprove it, it's got to be one of his videos.
that's a good shout.
Yeah, but I never could. I still couldn't disprove it. And when he said that, I'm 6,000, and I was like, 6,000. I was like, no, but they still all fit in here. I know they do. There might be other levels to describing it later, but this is for people who are trying to understand the basics. This is the first book. There will be other books later. So if there's stuff you don't get, don't understand, there'll be more books later. But this
Yeah,
is the core, the absolute
absolutely.
beginning. Like learning to drive a car. You don't take your advanced test at the same time as your beginners. You've got to do it in stages, and this is the first stage. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. But great fun.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we said about some games, but we it's very hard to play games and get everybody to join in. We haven't got quite enough viewers on tonight. I was hoping, and that's as much my fault. I'm really sorry. I should have just
Totally
stuck to the
fine.
main profile as usual. People obviously not finding us from the group, but we have an audience. Thank you.
Good. Wonderful.
Audience.
So, what I would like to ask is,
Ooh.
between you and the audience, I need to get a pen to write this down. I want an occupation, a location, and an object.
Okay. So I'll start off, and we can see what if that comes up within a minute. But I'll start off with occupation administrator, location the beach, and an object, a ruler.
Perfect.
Not very imaginative yet, but I'll come up with some more.
No, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to try. I've set myself up quite a fun task. Thank you very much, Yvette. That's very kind of you to say. Oh, dentist and a spoon. Love that. Adding
This
that in.
one's better. You'll like this one. Rory, you have a nice way with words. I like the way you chat and express yourself.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, here we go. Right on the game. A dentist and a spoon. And we just need location. That's the occupation and the location. Dentists.
Okay, cool. I can work with that. Right. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do a 9-sentence story incorporating your stuff and Yvette stuff.
Me.
Can't promise that it'll be brilliant, but here we go. So, it was an average Tuesday at the beach. And an administrator called Simon was doing some work. And what he did was he lost his spoon. And he needed to eat some pasta. And so he thought to himself, what have I got that I can use here? He scrambled around, looked in his bag, and he found a ruler. And so he was trying to shovel this pasta into his face, and of course, bashed it into a tooth, chipping it, resulting in the need to go to the dentist to get a filling.
Wow. That sounds really challenging, but well done. That's incredible. Yeah, fun with words.
Fun with words.
Brilliant. So are you up for a hangman?
Yes, I'm always up for a hangman.
Hey, we'll see if we can get Yvette to join in as well. Maybe some letters. So I've got to try and keep up with you both. Oh, hang on, I've got to find out what the word was first. Oh, yep, I got it.
Wait, so how many letters is that? One,
Right,
two,
we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, perfect. E.
You have one.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm writing it down so I can play. L.
Oh, I can't remember how to draw the hangman now. I ain't done that for ages. Right.
All right.
Got to basically a hangman.
Yvette said a T. M. Ooh. O.
Was that an oo or an o?
It was an O, and then Yvette wrote emotions in the chat, and I was going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Way.
There we go. Emotions. Yep.
Lovely.
Brilliant. I got another one. You're up for a second one?
Yes, let's have another one.
I did 3 actually. And then I've got some more words for you to have a play with.
Perfect.
Slightly different ones. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got one more this time.
Oh, I'm going to start with E again. Oh, there's 2 E's. Oh. I'm going to say S.
Let's put an M.
Yes.
Base for hangman.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, it's getting stressful. L.
Oh.
Oh no. Yeah, we're in trouble.
No, it's not senseless. That's a good guess, though.
That's a great guess. I was like,
really good guess. It would fit, but it's the wrong answer.
D.
Sorry?
D for dog. Oh dear. Yvette said N. Oh.
Yep, you got an N in there. D, she says.
Oh. Danger, Will Robinson. I.
I can't remember how many bits you meant to put in Hangman, but we'll keep going. Tell me if I've missed any.
Next is head, then body, then arms, then feet. Then you win, and we lose.
Okay. So she says D, you said I. Running out of letters now.
Yes. Have we had a D? No, we haven't had a D. I said D.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we did say D.
F. Ooh. A.
An A. We have an A.
Oh, W. And an R.
And an R. Yeah, you got it. Awareness. Yeah.
Oh,
I think Yvette sort of got it as well, but yeah, sort of. There we go. Awareness. Da-da-da.
No.
So there's one more for you. We think we've got a couple of minutes left. 3, 4, 5.
And then I'll do one more story.
Okay, right. We've got a 10 this time.
Ooh, a 10.
We're going up. We've got an 8, 9, and a 10.
Right. Yvette said spelled wrong.
So that's one to me and one to you two. So, no, that's 2 to you two so far. So actually I've lost, but we'll do this one anyway.
I guess we'll start with E again. Oh,
E.
Yvette said O.
O. Right, no O.
Oh.
Sorry, did you say D?
E for echo.
E. Right.
Oh. S?
Nope.
Oh dear.
Oh, she said O. No O either.
M. Oh, and a T. Yvette said T and I've said M.
Right. The M is an O. And there's 2 T's.
Oh. I feel like this is a tricksy one. I accept your challenge. And I offer you an F for Freddie. Oh no!
Nope. That isn't an O. Oh, yeah.
Yvette said A.
No A.
I?
There is an I.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh.
Yvette just said help. Have we had an N, as in for Nelly?
No. We have an
N. G?
Yep, we have a G.
Oh. Have we had an S?
I don't think so. We have a body this time.
Oh no! H? Oh dear. I have a bad feeling there's just been a limb drawn. Yvette said M.
Did we have? No, we didn't, did we? I thought you said M at the beginning.
Oh, I think I might have said M at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had that one. I don't want to put it on twice for you. Oh.
This is Trixie.
Oh,
We've only got about 2 guesses left.
Oh, I can keep going. I can keep adding bits to him. I'll put a hat on him. I'll put some extra supports on it. Keep going.
I love it.
I'll see how much I can draw before you get it.
B.
I'll just doing one arm this time, Gorm.
And then an R from Yvette.
An R. You have an R.
Oh.
You've saved a go there, Yvette. You have an R.
Running out of letters. This is going to be a very clever word, and I can't think cleverly.
You'll kick yourself when you get it. You really will.
I'm anticipating kickage. Have we had an H? We have. Hey, we've asked for an H.
I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest. I think we have.
Yes. Oh,
I just realised. Let me take the dentist spoon one out of the way. You might see it better. There we go.
L?
You have an L.
D? And a U. De-turtling!
We got there. Oh dear, great fun. Thank you. Right. Did you say you've got another meeting to run off to?
I do have to dash fairly shortly, but if you and Yvette want to quickly do, between the two of you, 2 locations, 2 objects, and 2 occupations.
Okay.
So you do 1 of each, and Yvette does 1 of each, and I'll quickly do a story with all of them.
Okie dokie. Okay, I'm going to challenge you.
Okay, go for it.
Right. What's Yvette got? I'm giving you a pilot.
Okay.
At the Eurotunnel.
Okay.
With a unicycle.
Of course he has. Thank you. All right. Challenge accepted. I've set this up for myself.
Are you up fun? You're gonna have fun.
Right. I'll just give Yvette half a second to throw some things in, and if she doesn't, then I will play with these. And if she does, oh, here we go. Thames solicitor car. Oh,
Ooh, oh my goodness, what a blend. Oh, crikey.
I did ask you to challenge me. You have accepted this challenge, and now, of course, I'm terrified. But here we go. So, I mean, of course, how silly of me to not think about this originally. So there was this solicitor who was needing to get to France because he was actually a part-time commercial pilot and needed to get to France to fly back the Boeing 737. Now, you'd think he would take a car, possibly through the Eurotunnel, but you'd be wrong, because he was not a man of normal means of transport. And so what he obviously did was he fashioned a unique and interesting device powered by a unicycle that he test drove on the Thames. And then once he perfected it, he skated across the English Channel on said device in order to make it to France and fly back.
Wow. That just actually sounds so convincing. That could be a real story, a real quest. I bet there's somebody out there tried it.
There was definitely questing music playing, 100%.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, before we do go tonight, I want to share something. I know this is all about book today, but it's all about emotional well-being and mental health awareness to an extent as well. Because as much as my book is about emotional awareness, a lot of people call it mental health issues.
Yes.
Or mental health awareness, but to me, it's all intertwined. But there's a lot can be attributed to the emotional awareness. But
yes.
There are an amazing team called Monkey Fist Adventures.
Oh, I love them already.
Monkey Fist is actually the name of a knot. I found that
yes.
out. So Monkey Fist Adventures is 4 people who are getting in a little rowboat this month to cross the Atlantic, spending, I think it's 35 days of rowing.
Wow.
They are doing it, and they are doing it to raise money for a charity for PTSD funds. So I'll find the link later because I think they deserve a shout out. They are they're in the process of finishing off the boat at the moment, like constructing the last bits. I don't know if lockdown's holding them back at all. But yeah, absolutely, they are due to embark this month. I was going to do a pre-recorded video with one of them, but I got kind of caught up in my own little pit between book and publishing and here, because Christmas wasn't the most exciting time this year to make things fun. So we were sort of like, I'm coming back up. But it was, I was meant to connect with them, but I did want to shout out that they are doing this most amazing 35 I think it's 35 or 45 days, but literally rowing across the Atlantic. And I think it's from somewhere just off the west coast of Africa across to one of the islands, sort of in Central America, and straight across. And that is, wow, this time of year from January to February. No, thank you. There's fun, and then there's challenge and quest, and then there's just insane. Yes, and this is not the first time they've done it either. You think having done it once, you'd say, no, that's enough. Yeah. It isn't even the first time they've done it.
You know that phrase, sucker for punishment?
Yes, yeah. So these guys are like just born and built for water,
Yes.
And that could be if the boat gets turned over, they have to upright it, pump it out. All their gear's where they've got a tiny little cabin for 2 that the 4 of them have got to share, and they're doing 2-hour shifts all the way across and whatever.
Well, all power to them. Put the link in out and about, and I'll also do a little bit of sharing of it as well for you.
Thank you. So all in the name of supporting a charity for PTSD, and I think that's worth the shout out. So thank you ever so much to everybody for today. What a way to end the launch of a book with Hangman. Going right back to childhood, playing Hangman.
Beautiful, wonderful. And thanks to Miss Yvette for sticking with us the whole way through, being so engaged.
Yvette has never missed one of my videos yet. She's incredible, bless her. She's made this her quest to follow every video that I've done, to give us something to do every day or every week. and she's just made this her quest for the year to follow all of my live videos.
Well,
and she's sticking with it. Well done. Yay.
she's top draw in my opinion. She gets
She's my super
vote.
fan. My super fan. Yeah. But no,
Awesome.
thank you so much, Rory. Thank you.
No
It's been
worries.
absolutely amazing having you back on live chat tonight. And wow, hopefully we'll do it again sometime. But I
Yeah.
think this is week number 7 already of the 52-week challenge. We were on the 28-day challenge before. Wow, that's going quick. So next week I have Julia Allen. She's yoga, massage, mindfulness, all the sort of therapies about the body, very much about physical well-being next week. Complete different shift in topic again, but again, all absolutely relevant to well-being overall and emotional well-being. So,
Absolutely.
and she's very much on board with all of this sort of mentality thing as well about positive thinking. So great, looking forward to that. So 7 p.m. next week with Julia Allen for yoga and sort of general well-being. And thank you ever so much, Rory. All the best. Thank you to everybody. And time out. I'm going to go and put my feet up and chill. Actually, no, I'm going to go and
have a big
thousands of
sleep.
messages first.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye.